Alright, today we're going to be making a character that can run around, shoot fireballs, can jump, as well as go back in time, like a tracer recall in Overwatch, as well as blink like Tracer can. So it just felt like it fit a wizard theme very well, and then we can shoot these guys with a fireball. Alright, so let's get into this. So we need to open up Godot. So I'm going to be using this K-Kit pack. So while you're at it, download the kit. And let's also set up this project. So I'm going to be using Godot 4.2. Open it up. We're going to hit new. We're going to call this 3D Tut. And then create folder, create an edit. All right. So I've already downloaded the K-Kit, so I'm going to add it to my, if it opens up, to my project structure. Add it in here. And we can disable the FBX because we don't want the FBX anyways. So I import all these. All right, it's going to reload sometimes. Awesome. We want a 3D scene. We're going to call it world. On top of that, we want a world environment node. That's going to change the our world. We want to change our ambient light to a bluish tint. Probably add a little more blue, like a lighter blue. Perfect. All right, save that. Save world. Also want to add a static body 3D. Inside our static body 3D, we want a mesh 3D, as well as a collision shape 3D. And we want that to be a child of the static body 3D. Go ahead and add a shape. We'll do a box. As well here, we'll do a box. So one thing that you have to do separate of each other is the size of the mesh and the collision shape. So we're going to do X 100, Y 1, and then Z 1, or Z 100, sorry. And then the same thing with our box, same thing, 100, Y 100 on our Z. Okay, so this is so our character won't be able to fall through the ground. Now let's get our character ready and set up. So one thing we want to do is utilize our characters. We want to use the GLTFs. And I chose the mage. If you want to use a different character, you can totally can. You can follow along. And we want to change this root type node to a character body 3D. Oops, right there. Hit re-import. And then we want to do a new inherited scene. Change this to player. All right, save. We have our new player scene. So it's going to be yelling at us because we need a collision shape 3D. Save that. Go to our inspector, add a new shape, make it a pill. Let's shift it up. See, probably if we look into this, or transform, just do 1 on that, and that should be fine. All right, and then one thing we notice, our character is holding a little too much. So for now, we can close this spell book open, the wands 2H, or the staff 2H, and we should be okay. We look good. Awesome. Save our character, and we want to attach to our player script the basic movement. We'll edit this, and let me pull up my sample project so I am able to do this coherently as we're working together. So a couple of things we want to do. We already have our jump velocity and speed, and we'll keep it to what they have originally. One thing is that we want instantly is to add the animation player in here. So hit Control, click on it. That'll create an on-ready bar for your animation player. as well as we want to add a camera to our player. Okay, and we want to go to our 3D scene, move it up. We're going to have to flip this around, or we could flip our character around, but let's just flip this around. Let's go 5 up. We want a rotation on the y-axis by 180, and then we'll move it back 5. Oh, we probably have to do negative z, I would assume. Negative 5z. Okay, let's tilt it by, say, 30 degrees. That's up, so we want to tilt it down by 30 degrees. Save that, and then perspective. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Save that, and then we want to go and mess with the movement. So our movement script is using the UI left and right on all axes. I'm going to change this into instead of get vector, we want to get axis, and we only want an up and down. So the first two, and they need to be swapped because it's negative. So this is our negative movement, and this will be, an up will be our positive movement. Okay, hit save on that. Then we want to take the other axis. So instead of our input, we're going to copy this code. We're going to call this rotation. Instead of UI down, it'll be UI left. Nope, underscore, and then UI right. We'll save that. And we want to check our character's movement. So we no longer need the input direction X. This will be 0. Save that. We move towards, and we move and slide. Okay, so let's test this out. We need to add our character to our scene. So dragging the player scene to our world. Make sure he's above the ground. And let's hit play. So it's our first time building it. See, it looks like we have an error somewhere. Can't get index Y. Oh, because this is no longer, there we go. We want to do our world scene, so make sure you're on your world scene. Hit play, select current, and see, are we able to move? Yes, we are. We can jump by hitting spacebar. This is what we want. One thing I forgot to do, because we're not seeing any light, is to add a light, and we want a directional light. We need to go to our scene, move it this way. Oop. What happened? I lost our light direction. Usually shows what direction it's going. Not being very helpful. I don't remember seeing that. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just move it till we get it to the direction that we want. Save that. Play the scene again. All right, we got some light. Okay. Awesome. Now, we want a character to do an animation as it's moving. So let's go back to our code. And we want we want to check if our velocity, so let's see, if direction, then we want to do animation player and play running, oh, I can't spell today, running A. Oh, animation play. Oh, dot play. Play. All right. So now should always be running, but now he will always be running. So to fix this, we want to check our idle. So we want to make our character be idle. So if velocity is equal to vector 3.0, and then we want to do animation player.play idle. Okay. So now you might be wondering, where the heck did this animation come from? As you can see, he's kind of idling. It's kind of bobbing up and down. So where did these animations come? Well, it came from our imported character. And if we open this animation player, we can see tons of different animations. So this is what we're wanting. Okay. And then we can go and do more to this player. So right now when we jump, he doesn't really do much. He doesn't jump very high, so one thing we can do is make him jump higher, so it's double his jumping height. See how much higher that goes. A lot higher for sure. Okay. Then let's do a blink ability, just like tracer. So we're going to do a new function called blink, and we're going to do if input dot is action pressed, and we need a new action, and we'll just do pass for now while we go add this action. So to do that, you go to project settings, input map, calling it blink. We'll add, and then we want to listen. I'm just going to do shift to blink. Okay. And we can now edit this. So we want to change our velocity. So velocity is a property on our character body node. And we want the x position to be equal to the velocity dot x. And we'll just do times 80. And velocity z equal to velocity z times 80. So now this is just our horizontal movements, our left and right and forward and backwards, not our vertical, because we don't really want to be able to keep blinking further and further. And for me, I set the animation player to be able to play our dodge, and we'll do dodge forward. You could do spell casting if you wanted to make it more mage-like, but for now I just did this. And then if we add blink to our code, which we wanted to do it after our if statements, we do blink, play, continue. It's going to be hard to see, but we're blinking. And as we get closer, you'll definitely be able to see that we're blinking. Oh, one thing I did forget to do is rotate our character. So I inputted this rotation direction, but I never showed how to rotate our character. And the way we want to do that is to if rotate direction, then rotate our y 0.1 times our rotate rotation direction. So rotation, can't spell today. Rotation direction. Hit save, hit play. Now we can rotate our character, move, jump, and blink. Okay. And if you hit shift too many times, you'll get the sticky keys. So that's how we get them to rotate. Now we want to make our character look a little bit more believable that he's rotating. So one thing I did was add a mesh to our player. And so I went and added sorry, I'm spacing. Mesh 3D instance. Save, we go to our 3D view, and we want to go add, and I added this Turos mesh. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right. But we go 1.1, and we want to make this about 1.4. Okay. One thing we also want to add is a material. Go into our material, and we want to allow for transparency. And so just hit alpha, and then go albedo, and I just use this color picker tool to get the blue tool and make it a little lighter and a little more see-through to give it the impression that it's a magic spell. Okay, now we want to add a new animation player to our character, and we're going to call this blink animation player. Now, why do we need two? It's because the animation player can only play one animation at a time. So our new animation is, we're going to click new animation. We're going to call it blink, and we probably want to use a capital blink because the animations in our other animation players start with capitals. And then we're going to make the animation only 0.2 seconds, and we want to have our, so make sure you have your animation player open, then click on your mesh 3D, and we want to change the transform. So first we will set it at the base. We hit create. We want to set the visibility to true, and then at the end of our thing we want this visibility to be false, and our position to go to, I think, 1.5. Okay, now if we loop this animation and hit play, it's not moving because this didn't move at all. So we go back, set to 1.5, and see if this goes. Sweet. So it's going. Perfect, that is what we want. Now, one thing we're going to notice, if we hit play, we're going to have the ring around us automatically, and then we blink, and it's not disappearing. Maybe because we set the thing to loop, so let's get rid of that. To not loop, now play. Again, we'll see the thing. Oh, it's actually not going away. So one thing that we want to do to fix this is we want our mesh instance to not be visible on play. So what you need to do in code is to create a function func_ready. So this is a default function. This happens on the load of the node into the scene. And we want to take our mesh instance dot visible equal false. And now we should have, yeah, now we can't see it, and we can't see it now when we're doing our, let's see if I can get, if you uncheck that, still are not able to see, we might be overriding the, no we're not. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Oh, I didn't add the animation timer. Apologize. All right, so let's go and add a timer node. And then we want to do animation timer. Okay. And let's add this in as well. So control, click on it to get the on ready var. On our animation timer, we want to set in our code. Oh, we're not even playing. So actually, let's see that first. So if we bring in also the, you want to control click this as well. And we do blink animation play blink. So apologize for missing that. So now we'll see our animation play. So we don't really need the animation timer unless we want to be able to be locked into animations, which we might want to do. So for our dodge, we will do it. So our animation timer dot play or dot start, and then we want to set our animation player dot wait. Oh my goodness, I apologize for the sticky keys. I'm gonna go fix that. I'll be back in 1 sec. All right, I believe I fixed the sticky keys, so I will try to mute that in the editing, but we'll see. I'm not hearing it anymore. All right, so we want to set our wait time. I need to look at my code again because I'm totally spacing on it. All right, so our wait time is equal to our animation player dot current animation underscore length. All right, and then we want our animation timer that's what I need to check. Okay, so if direction and if animation timer is stopped, and we can play our running animation. Okay, hit play. If we move, all right, why do we mess with this? Cannot set animation timer float. Where am I messing up? Save. All right, let's go see what is wrong with this. This should be fine. Oh, animation timer. That's where I'm messing up. So instead of animation player, it's animation timer. And now we're locked into that dodge animation, so we're not overriding it when we're moving. Okay, save that. Let's go. And now we're gonna do the recall. So I'm gonna do func recall. And as you noticed in the demo, I included the balls to be shown, and this I am going to include again, but you don't necessarily need them, but it is a good reference. Okay, so recall, and then we need to add the recall button. So I just mapped it to my R key. Oh wait, let's delete that. This is recall, and then map it to our R key. Hit OK, close. All right, so what we're going to be doing in here is we're going to start a tween. And so we're going to create a var tween is equal to create tween. Now we're going to loop through positions that we set every couple seconds. So we're going to save, and we need to add a new property. I call it var position history. That'll be an empty array. And then we need to make also a position marker, I guess we could call it. Shoot. Let's change this instead of a node 3D. We want to change type to mesh 3D. And then I'm just going to call this position marker. Okay. Save that. Go to your 3D. I use a sphere. Also add a material. And then we want to add a color. See if there's any recent colors. We'll use this purple. We'll save. And then we want to go to our player scene, to our player code. We also want to do onReady var position marker scene is equal to preload. And let's go get that. Did we save it? Should have saved it. All right, position marker. Okay. And then we can add a new timer. We can call this timer position marker. Okay. And every 0.2 seconds, we'll have an auto start. And we need to connect the timeout to our player script. Non-player timeout, we want to do position marker is equal to position marker scene dot instantiate, and then we want to go and get tree dot root dot add child position marker, and then we also want to give the position marker dot global position is equal to our global position. Save that. And as we walk around, we will see little spheres populating. Now, one thing we want to do is also take our position history dot push front our position marker. All right, so we got our position marker, and then we only want to go up to a certain point. So if position marker, or no, history dot size is greater than 20, then position history dot pop back dot q free. Okay, so we'll save that. We'll hit play, and you'll see that over time they delete. Okay, so we have our history. Now, in our recall function, we want to go for position marker in position history. We want to tween property. We want to do our self. Global position is the property. As you see it, it's showing me some hints. Position is our property that we want to change. And then we want to go to our position marker dot global. Keep missing global position, comma and then we'll take just 0.1 seconds. So half the time for them that they spawn. Oh, we're not invoking this at all. So we need to recall, we can do it before or after blink. So this will detect if we hit the R button, right? So let's move around until they start disappearing. Shouldn't be a problem regardless. We can even blink, and then we can hit R, and we'll tween back to where we were about 2 seconds ago, or maybe 4 seconds ago. But there you are. You can tween around with like monsters. Okay. All right. Lastly, we need to create our attack function. So go func attack. And we could do the same thing right here. Could even actually copy more of this one because we want to play add spell cast shoot, and then we want to change this to attack. Save that. Go to our type of attack. I'm going to use the A key. It's not perfect, but it's something. Save that. And let's see if our character even looks good when we do this. Oh, we're not invoking it. Always really. Attack. All right. Not even sure if he's definitely doing something. I just don't know what. Let's try to change. I saw spellcasting later on, so let's try our melee. Let's see. We also, I'm forgetting, we need to get our timer to start. Let's save. There we go. So that looks a lot more realistic. Okay. All right. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did with our marker position. So we're going to duplicate. Oh, let's apologize. We're going to call it fireball. We're going to go in here, go to our code, and change the material color to a red, more orangey. Let's see what that looks like. Perfect. All right. And then we want to add a timer. We'll call this life timer. That's fine. We're going to rename this to fireball. Add a script called fireball. Save that. We're going to auto start our timer, keep it 1, and we can time out. All right, and we'll just on the life timer, you just queue free it. All right, that gets rid of our fireball. But our fireball still does nothing, so we need an area 3D node as well as a collision, if I can spell, collision shape 3D. Save, go to 3D, click, we're going to go to our inspector, open up, add the sphere. Awesome. So we want to add this area 3D. We're going to call it hitbox. Okay. We also want to add it, and for now, we probably should call it projectiles, but I'm just going to call it fireball. Add it to our fireball. We want the 3D node, so that little icon, the hitbox. Okay. Save that. Okay. Now we want to fix one thing, and that's we need to get a node 3D in here. I find it easiest to show where I want to cast something by just putting a 3D node in here. Okay. And we want, I guess, 1 by 1. All right. So you cast right in front of you. And we're going to call this cast position. Okay. Now we have our cast position. We also need to preload our fireball into our character scene. So just like we did the position, let's go to a new section of the front. We go on ready var fireball is equal to preload and then our fireball scene. And we need to then add our fireballs to our scene. So on our attack, so we cast right here, right? We can go var fireball is equal to, oh, there's a bend. It's fireball scene up here. Scene, save, underscore scene, dot instantiate, save that. And then same thing, get tree dot root dot add child. We want our fireball and our fireball dot global position equal to our. Now one thing we can do is just reference it by dragging in. So $ cast position, right? Not global position. All right, so we're going to be able to cast our fireballs in here, but they're not going to move. So they just spot in front of us, right? Not bad, not great, but it's something. So we need to change that. So our fireball script and our process function is going to just take its generic position, its relative position, plus direction times speed times delta. Okay. And we want to then go var direction is equal to a vector 3 dot forward. And we're going to give it a speed is equal to, let's say, 10. Okay. These are now there's no complaints about it. And we're going to shoot our fireball, but it's coming behind us. So, whoa, how do we fix that? So we need a normal, and we want to reassign our direction to that normal. So one thing we can do is go to our player script, and we want to get the transform basis. So before, I want to do, oh, my bad, okay. We'll do it here. Fireball dot direction is equal to, and we want to do parentheses, transform dot basis times a vector to 3 0, 0, 1, and then we want to normalize it. And we should, yep, there we go. So now we're able to, based on our transformation, every time we're always going to be doing that forward. We could change this to, get rid of that. We do, let's stop our scene. We do that forward. it's going backwards. Okay, so this is the opposite, but I believe that this would be. Is there not a backwards? Back. Okay. So let's go see if that fixes it. There we go. Okay, so we're almost there, almost done with the game. Now we want to create a new inherited scene. Go to our KCat, back to our characters. And I'm going to use the barbarian. Oh, one thing I did not do with the barbarian, so let's not save that. So let's go back to our barbarian, open it, and let's re-import it. So do the exact same thing, is to do a character body 3D, re-import, save, and then right click and inherit this scene. All right, there's a character body, perfect. We want to just call it an enemy, save the scene. Let's go up into our generic. We want to add a collision, shape 3D, and as well as add the pillbox. And we want to move it up, probably 1. Let's see. Yep, on our character it's up 1. Awesome. Now let's go to let's add an enemy script. Just use the generic. We're going to probably take out a ton of this. So we want the gravity. We don't care about the jump velocity. We want a target, and this will be our target player. And we're going to just do null, and then do func ready, and then target player is equal to get tree dot get first node and group player. Okay, and one thing we didn't do with our player is add it to the player group. So let's do that. Player, add our player, add, okay, save, got our enemy. It's complaining about jump velocity. We don't care about it. We don't care about this direction, this input direction. We want to look at target player dot global position vector 3 up. And so we'll look at the player, and it wants to know which direction is up. So that's up for us. And we want to do direction to player is equal to target player dot global position. So it's yelling at me about this direction, so I'm just gonna get rid of it just so I don't get tripped up by it. Get rid of that. So global player dot position minus global position. So this is a normal, and we want to normalize it. Do that. So that's our direction to player. Then we want only our horizontal velocities. So our z direction player dot z times speed. We could do this in different ways, but I'm just going to do it this way. Speed times delta, and we'll copy the same line, change it to x, save, and then we want to reference our animation player, so we're only doing it once in the code, so I'm fine just dragging it in, and hit play, and we'll do running and move and slide. All right, let's see if it looks at our player. Oh, we don't have our enemy here. I've been doing that today. So let's drag our enemy into our scene. Let's go and move him around. Save, hit play. He might not be looking at us yet, and he's not even running that fast. So, something that I find interesting. So let's change the speed of our character for 1. So instead of 5, we'll do 200. Hit save on that. I want to see what's going up with him not looking at our character. So go to our enemy, go to transform. I think I transformed the rig 180. Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're going to switch this rig. Y position 180. So again, the rig needs to be 180. Hit play. Now he's going to be looking at us, and he's moving much faster. And so we have to blink to get away from him. We can hit recall. He comes back at us. All right, we're almost done. Not quite done with the fireballs because they don't kill the enemy yet. So with some quick code and a couple of nodes, we want to add an area body. Call this a hurt box. As well as add a collision shape. We can drag the same, we can copy the same so let me copy it. Oh, that's fine. We'll just go in, add the capsule, save, move its position, should be up by 1, just verify. Yep, it looks much better. Okay, and then we want to add the signal of the hurtbox area entered, and we want to do if area dot is in group fireball, then Q3. All right, let's see where he's at. He's coming after me. I'm missing, and we're not hitting it. So let's check. There might be a couple of issues. We want to see if the fireball, did I add it to a group for fireball? I did not. I must have not saved. Fireball, add to the thing. All right, now let's see. Where are you at? Okay, apparently I cannot aim. Okay, now we get rid of them. All right. So we're able to create our little mage. We get chased by enemies. Able to dash away from them. Attack them if we want to. And we can also go back in time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to learn more about what we can do with this game, or if there's any other 3D, 2D genres that you're interested in, please let me know. I'm willing to create these tutorials for you. And please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much.